Hey everyone, it is Brian Kaz here, joined by my friend and business partner Sean Casey. We have a pretty exciting call for you today, which I think you guys will get a lot of value out of, which is how to have a $9,000 per month Facebook ad manager working for you for free. And I think this will really give you a lot of insights. And towards the end of the call, you'll have an opportunity to actually try some stuff out for free that I think can make a world of difference for you. So without further ado, we can get this show on the road. So once again, my name is Brian Kaz, and I'm currently joined by my business partner, Sean Casey, who you might hear from throughout the call, especially towards the very end or so. Now, I want to ask you guys this. Do you sell or want to sell anything online? Okay. So whether it be, let's say you sell some high ticket stuff on webinars, let's say you sell some info products, let's say you're just a local business, or maybe you market services to local businesses, or you sell software, or you just build an email list, or you sell some e-commerce stuff, or you just have a blog, or whatever. Or even if you just want to learn how, this will be important for you because you probably know that advertising on Facebook well can be a game changer for any business. It's one of the easiest ways to get a lot of traffic in fast, as quickly as possible. And if done well, it can obviously work well. But you also probably know that it can normally be hard to master, harder to monitor, and super expensive to outsource, and even more expensive to make a lot of mistakes on if you don't know what you're doing. That's why we want to share with you what we've learned after spending 7 figures a year on ads across multiple businesses, as well as managing ads and consulting for others for $5,000 to $9,000 per month. So I know a lot of you know a decent amount about us, but I'll take just a couple minutes to reiterate a few things about myself and my partner Sean. So myself and Sean combined have spent well over $3 million in advertising just in the past couple of years. We've also created several 6- and 7-figure businesses over the years in a variety of markets, not just in one niche, but in a variety of different ones. We've also charged up to $9,000 a month just for basic Facebook ad consulting and management to help other businesses basically tweak and run their own ads. Because again, we've run a lot of our own stuff, and that has obviously given us a lot of knowledge. We've spent a lot of money, and there's obviously lessons that we've learned over all that time right there. Between our partners and I, we've sold over $60 million online. It's obviously a lot of money and a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge that we've actually gained from that. Here's just one of our ClickBank accounts showing big numbers through paid sales. A lot of our businesses, we don't run anything through ClickBank. Some we run a decent amount through, and we have multiple ClickBank accounts as well, but here's just one of several. And you see last year did over $2.9 million, and that's actual paychecks received. So it's like after refunds, after any affiliate, after anything like that. And you also see that this year alone, at the time of the screenshot right here, over 600,000 received so far right there. And keep in mind, there's also usually several weeks of a delay before they send money and such out. So a lot of money being sent right there. That kind of goes to show we know what we are talking about. Here's a few of our other ClickBank accounts in just the past several weeks right here. As I said, we have a bunch of ClickBank accounts and a lot outside of ClickBank as well, but you see a lot of different accounts right here, about 400,000 or so made in just the last several weeks right there. In fact, we're also a top 10 vendor on ClickBank. So obviously we do a lot of sales there. And that's not even counting all our non-ClickBank sales, which again are substantial. Some of our businesses don't even use ClickBank. So we have some that do, again, a ton of money that we don't even have a single account there. So again, just goes to show we know what we're doing. We run a variety of businesses, and it's probably worthwhile to pay some attention to. We also have over 180,000 products currently in our US fulfillment center. That was a shocker to me because like I knew we had a lot, but we looked up the actual amount that we just had like a day ago, and yeah, over 180,000 products in our US fulfillment center. So again, we sell a lot of stuff. You know, I know some of you might know us for selling like, you know, software and stuff online, which we certainly do that as well. But we also sell a variety of physical products as well. Because again, we practice what we preach here. And that's why I think it's important to pay some attention to. In fact, one of our newer businesses is just over 2 years old, but already valued at about $10 million. Now, through our knowledge of paid advertising, we actually took one business that we partnered with from starting at about $6,000 per month to over $500,000 per month. And again, that was done in only about like, that large of a leap was done, I think, in about like a year and a half. But we went from like 6,000 to 100,000, I think, in a matter of like maybe a month or two or so, and went from that to like $250,000 a month, like a few months after that. So a pretty substantial jump, pretty fast, right there. And that's just in one of the businesses. And this is just some proof right here that, again, we do a lot of advertising and stuff on Facebook and such. And here you see there's a single pixel on Facebook that has fired over 1 million times just in the past month right there. Here's 2 different accounts of mine on Facebook, of several, and you'll see some in just a bit right there. There's one with just shy of about $1.2 million spent. There's another newer one with over 130,000 right there, and you see like on the top left, you see over 66,000 sales made and over 882,000 leads. So almost 900,000 leads off of just one of the ad campaigns right there. So obviously we know what we're doing. We're spending a lot of money on this stuff, and we're running some decent businesses and stuff. And most importantly, again, we practice what we preach here. In fact, in any given month, we're typically spending around $150,000 or more in paid advertising across the businesses and such. Which actually brings us to today and what's most important to you. As I'm going to be sharing with you the exact way that we run our Facebook ads and the tips and tricks that we've learned over the years. And how you can do something that would make it almost like basically getting us, as well as any Facebook expert out there, working for you for free. I know you're probably thinking that really doesn't make much sense on how we can get even lots of other experts working for you for free, but you'll see why and how in just a bit. It'll make a lot more sense. So let me ask you guys a question, and you can type your response with a 1 here. Who here has tried to advertise on Facebook before and not had awesome results? If that's you, if you could type in a 1. So if you've tried to advertise on Facebook before, but you didn't have great results at all, you type in a 1. I'll give you a second or two to do that. Okay. Now, who here?
Hey, Brian, I wanted you to tell you, somebody did really bad. They didn't even get a 1, they got a 0.
Oh, that's funny. So who here has tried it and gotten at least good results with it? If that's you, if you could type in a 2. So if you tried it and gotten good results with it, if you could type in a 2. And last but not least, who here has never tried Facebook advertising at all? If that's you, if you could type in a 3. All right. And last but not least, if you didn't respond to any of those because you're too shy, type in a 4. All right. Seeing a lot of different responses here. It looks like there's a handful that have tried it and done well. There's several, or I should say a lot, that have tried it and haven't gotten the results that they want. And then there's also a bunch that have never tried it. So it looks like there's a good mix right there. And that's actually okay, because we'll share some stuff in just a bit that will apply to all of you. So why is Facebook an easy place to find people? Well, it has 2 billion active users and growing. So There's probably even more now since I checked the stats on this not too long ago. More importantly, Facebook knows its users inside and out, what they like, what they respond to, and what they buy. That means you can laser target prospects, and once you have a list of them, Facebook can find you millions more just like them. The easiest way to find people you want is through Facebook ads. Using Facebook ads, you can target the people you want by their interests, their gender, their age, location, even as small as like a city, devices used, and a lot more. These ads also don't have to be expensive. You can start for $1 a day, but we really suggest you invest at least a minimum of $5 a day to get faster results. Of course, the more you can do, the better. So the faster results you can get with the more you spend. But it's not like you have to spend like $1,000 a day or anything crazy like that to start out. Even $5 a day can be okay. But if Facebook is such a great place to advertise on, why do most people fail at it? It's because they don't advertise well and they don't know their data, two very important parts. But the good news is that in many cases, a bad Facebook ad can turn into a good one very easily. And if you've never had success, or if you've had some limited success with Facebook ads, there's a good chance that it was because of at least one of two reasons. Either because you didn't know your data to be able to basically tell what part of your ads were showing life versus the parts that were just sucking up lots of your money, or because you didn't know how to properly manage your Facebook ads to not only prevent them from basically going bad, but to grow the good parts to really expand your business. You've probably seen the news a year or two ago or so about places like Cambridge Analytica and such, about how they have tons of data on you. And although in some cases this was used for nefarious reasons, the fact remains that Facebook still has tons of data on everyone that can be used for good reasons, like providing them with exactly the kind of offers they'd most want. Facebook gives you a ton of data on who your prospects are, who signs up, who buys, and so forth. But it's not easy to really dig deep into it. But you definitely need to know the data to succeed. Even some of the best marketers and Facebook ads out there are still leaving tons of dough on the table and wasting lots and lots more. So even the best make these mistakes here. That's because whether you have an ad set that isn't doing too hot or you have an ad set that is doing great, you'll run into these issues unless you know not only how to analyze your data, but how to properly do so while growing winners too. So here's my first example. Let's say that you have a bad ad, okay? And it's costing you $50 to get a $30 buyer, okay? So it might not be all that great right there. A lot of people would ditch that ad in a heartbeat because they think it's a loser, because they think, wow, I'm spending $50 to get 30, not a good deal, right? I'm guessing most of you would probably ditch that. But that's not always the case. It could just be that you're missing the winners within the bad ad set. Here's a real life example. A big Facebook ad spender was spending over $100,000 a month on Facebook ads, but most of them were break even at best. And they asked me to analyze their Facebook ads for them, which I did. Upon further inspection, I saw that over 2/3 of their ad spend was actually targeting an age group that simply wasn't buying. So right there alone, of the $50, 33 was being wasted with just that. And only about 15% of their ad spend was actually going towards an ad placement, like desktop right side versus newsfeed and stuff, that actually was making most of the sales. So that means if only 15% of the ad spend was going towards an ad placement, making most of the sales, that means that $42.50 of the $50 was wasted on that. And 66% of that was also wasted on the wrong age group. So that means that only about $2.50 of the $50 per sale spent was being spent wisely. So that $50 per $30 buyer loser ad that you're about to shut off might be a true winner if you eliminated most of the wasteful spending, because only $2.50 was being wisely spent. Now, that's not to say that you can, always cut out, all the fluff or all the extra, guys right there. But if you learn how to weed that down substantially, you can turn a lot of losers into major, major winners. But let's now take the opposite case. Let's say that you've had some luck and you have a winning ad set or a winning campaign where you're spending $5 to make $10. Pretty good, right? Naturally, you'd probably want to increase the budget. You might say you want to double or even triple or quadruple or more your ad spend in hopes of making that much more, right? You might think, hey, if I turn $5 into 10, maybe I can turn 100 into 200, or maybe I can turn 1,000 into 2,000. Pretty good, right? But in a lot of cases, you'd be wrong in thinking that. Facebook tends to optimize your ad sets based on the budgets that you assign, so changing it up drastically can throw things off. And it can also put all your eggs in one basket, or ad set or campaign, which is just asking for lots of trouble down the road, because if something goes wrong, you're basically out of luck. That's why we developed a special way to continuously grow good ads while eliminating bad ones. And in just a bit, we'll reveal to you our exact formulas for running ads. So I'll actually show you exactly what the formulas are that we use in just a bit. I'll actually break it down step by step right there. Because even great ads can turn bad. And if you don't know how to constantly monitor and handle those, you'll die a quick death at Facebook advertising. And if you don't know how to grow, you'll also die a quick death right there, because over time, almost every ad will probably go bad in time. So you have to constantly be not only growing, but monitoring the existing ads and all that right there, because it's not easy. Managing and especially growing ads typically can take a lot of time, as you can see. That's why we've been paid up to $9,000 a month just to help manage ads for others, or up to $5,000 a month just to consult for them without ever even touching an ad of theirs. Because again, it's worth it to the right person to know what they're basically doing wrong, what we've learned that might help them, and so on. Analyzing results, optimizing your ads based upon the data, and actively monitoring and managing your ads are keys to making the most money with Facebook ads. So you have to do all that. You have to basically analyze the results that you have. You have to optimize your ads based upon that, and you have to actively monitor and manage those ads at the same time. And it sounds like a lot of work, because it can be. That's why a lot of businesses out there hire managers and such. And it's also why even for a Facebook manager, it can still be a lot of work, because it is. This is the point at which most people fail, because they can't easily do all this on their own, especially if they're a newbie. And many don't have $9,000 a month to hire a Facebook ad manager, or even half that, or even a third of that. So do you want to know a dirty little secret? All right, seeing lots of yeses there. Because doing this manually was so tedious and time consuming, we actually developed a system to basically automate not only the analyzing of ads for us, but also completely running them on autopilot as well. That means that although clients were happy to pay us up to $9,000 a month for our expertise, we actually developed a way to automate our expertise. We'd like to briefly show you how we not only can basically automate this ourselves, but also reveal the exact rule sets and formulas that we use when running ads that you can instantly swipe. Remember how I told you that you could get something that would be like having us or any Facebook expert working for you for free? You'll soon see how, as that can be done using a special automated tool, and it's one that you can try out for free. I know that probably shocked a lot of you, because again, I said you can try it out for free right here, and you'll get some details on that in just a bit. And yes, for those devious and smart thinkers among you, that literally means that you can not only have a $9,000 per month ad manager working for you, but you can use those same rule sets and formulas to instantly on potential clients of yours that you could get for thousands a month. So you can actually use those rule sets and formulas and all that instantly with a touch of a button on any potential clients of yours that, again, you can turn into guys that pay $1,000, $2,000 or more a month each. So introducing the new automated ads. So automated ads is a super smart and automated way to not only analyze your ads, but to also instantly use any already proven rule sets or formulas for running ads to put your ads on complete autopilot. In fact, you can even modify or create unique rule sets of your own. In fact, here's just a few guys that have used it. Here's one. Eric Santos says, the automated ads campaigns are beating my old ads, but I don't know why. Or here's one right here. Hi, this is from Jen P, who essentially is a daughter of someone who runs ads for a company. Say, hey, just want to let you know that the automated ads product is the shit because I hate reading directions. I haven't even done that yet. I just used the split testing on one of my current campaigns. Woke up this morning and have a 50% click to conversion on my ads, and best split test is getting a 0.93 conversions on a market that I've been totally ignoring. And they said that they just want to tell us how much this thing kicks ass. Or one right here says, hi again, automated ads just gave me a sale the first through here, yay. And compared to my own ad, the optimized ad has used less money this day. Just wanted to share this right here. So again, new people and experienced people having luck and getting success with automated ads. So what does automated ads let you do? Well, it lets you automatically analyze your ads for using the advanced artificial intelligence to see where money is being left on the table. And it also lets you instantly select from one of several pre-existing proven rule sets, or modify or create your own to run your ads on complete autopilot, all while maintaining as much control as you want. You also get advanced reporting to spot the latest trends on top of our quick analyzer that basically tells you exactly what's working and what's not, whether it be certain times, certain targeting, certain platforms, whatever. So I'm just going to pause the screen for a second here as I show you inside of the new automated ads and an inside look at our exact rule set. So you can see what we're currently doing, what works, what does not, and it'll actually give you the exact formulas or the exact rule sets that we use to run our ads. And knowing that we've spent 7 figures running ads, it's probably worthwhile to see how we basically manage those and what the rules are that we have. So I'm just going to pause the screen for a second as I switch on over. All right, here. All right. So I'm inside the software right here, and I'll kind of walk you through what's what here in a second. But essentially, you'll see a few different things right here. Like there's a few things that you can do. First, you can create a new rule set, which I'll explain what that is in a second. You can also analyze stuff. You can also look at the graphs. And most importantly, if you're brand new, you can watch the walkthrough right here to kind of see what it all is. But you'll see right here, these are all the rule sets, and this is essentially a demo count of mine right here, so we can play around with this a bit more and not affect live stuff. But there's all these rule sets that you can use here, that you can make your own one, you can modify an existing one, that's all up to you. But more importantly, we have a lot of pre-existing ones down here that let you do all sorts of cool things. And I'll share what those are in just a minute or two. But first, I want to show you what you should do first. So if you're currently running Facebook ads, if you're not, you can skip this part and just go straight to the rule sets. But if you're currently running Facebook ads,
hey, Brian,
yeah,
I'm just going to jump in because if you don't have to be currently running them, you just have to have run them. Even if they're paused, you can still pull this information.
Yep. So even if it's like super old stuff, you can pause all that. So the first thing you want to do is you'd want to analyze essentially your data. And to do that, I actually pulled a report right here. What all you have to basically do is you pick like any kind of time frame you want. In this case, I just did the last month and a half, just because that sounded good. You can go like, if you want to go the past year or whatever, you can do that, or even longer, that's fine. And then you can choose if you want to have, basically an analysis on a campaign level or on an ad set level. And I'll show one of each one off. So this is a campaign level right here, in one of our ad accounts right here. And this is one where the average sale to us is worth close to $30 or so. So we're actually in pretty good right here, where we see, if we scroll down here, it first gives like a breakdown, of the times of day on what's basically best and not. And we see, hey, not like a major difference in time right here, but we do see, hey, there's a couple times that seem to be like kind of expensive. Like it looks from like 3 p.m. in the afternoon through about 9, we're paying significantly more. We're paying like $17.50 to $19.50. Whereas if you look in the wee hours of the morning, we're actually paying a bit less there. Or if you look from, like, I should say, from 9 o'clock at night on through the wee hours, so from 9 till about 6 a.m., we're paying just over $15, but always less than 16. So that might be some data that we could use. So I'll show you in a bit that we can create a rule set to only run ads during a certain time of day. So that's all fine. We can also look and see, like, hey, what are, the cheapest leads or the cheapest sales, in that time right there. Like we see right here, when we scroll down, it says, hey, the cheapest leads that you've had during this time came from the audience network and from those that had an Android smartphone. So it says, geez, that's kind of some useful info. So if the cheapest sales were from then, maybe you want to create a new ad set, or some new ads or some new campaigns where you specifically target the audience network, or those that have an Android smartphone. And it says, oh, your cheapest leads in that time have come from females between the ages of 45 and 54. And then it gives some times of day and days and all that. And we can also say, well, when it comes to sales, we see that the cheapest sales have been in the right-hand column on the desktop, but females age 55 to 64. So we see right here, the cheapest leads we got are 45 to 54, but the best sales are a little older. They're 55 to 64. So that might be some useful info, where if we want to focus more on sales, we might know that, hey, maybe we want to target those that are over 55, and do a new ad set and see how that goes right there. So we get some decent breakdown info right here, and that was on a campaign right there. We can also do it on an ad set level. It's super easy. Instead of campaign, we just pick an ad set, and I have one up right here, where we have a single ad set instead of a whole campaign. And we see here on this ad set right here, we see a breakdown of times and all that. And right here, we say, oh, look, we can get like a breakdown of when the best times are and whatnot. And it's important not to make assumptions, because like, just because like one campaign or one ad set says like, hey, sales are really good at night, doesn't necessarily mean that's the case in all the niches. In some cases might be the exact opposite. Like we see right here, the cheapest ones seem to be from like mid morning to mid afternoon or so, right there, where it's like basically $10 to $11 or so right there. In this case, again, we see what the best buyers are, what the best leads are, the best times and all that. But when we look at the ad sets, it gives us a bunch of other info, like the amount of comments that we got, and a bunch of other stuff as well right there. So pretty neat stuff, and a pretty good breakdown, but it's just useful info to kind of see, hey, what is maybe some good age groups, or what are some, like in this case it says newsfeed and Android tablet seems to get the best leads and buyers in this case. Sometimes they don't always match up there. and older women. So maybe we want to make some more ad sets where we basically target older women on news feeds that have an Android tablet, because that might actually give us the best results out there, knowing that if the average is $12.10, maybe we can get that down even less if these are the best of the best right here. So yeah, it's kind of useful and neat stuff right there. But after you do that, what you'd want to do, so after you analyze your existing ads, and it doesn't matter, again, as Sean said, if you have really old stuff from like a long time back, you can analyze that still in this. Now, if you've never run any ads, that's okay. Because again, like you don't have to do that right now. You can analyze stuff later as data comes in. But what's really neat is if you basically do this for possible clients, you can actually analyze their accounts and pull up all that info. And you'll sound like a genius if you basically say, hey, upon a quick glance of your account, it looks like even though you target everyone, older women over age, blah, 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 using the Android tablet tend to be some of your best buyers. And they'll look at you like, oh, cool, I didn't know that. And you'll seem like a genius then for just basically saying what the reporting says right there. And as time goes on, we'll advance the reporting even more and include more and more stuff too to make it even more neat. But the second thing that you want to do is to then create rule sets to actually manage these campaigns and ad sets on complete autopilot. So that's what's really, really neat here. So it only takes like a second to link your Facebook account to this right here. If it's your first time on, it'll have just like a quick, easy link right there. And there's two things that you can do. If you go to Rule Set Builder, you can create a new rule set where you can do anything you want. But if you're new, I encourage you to use an existing one. So we have several existing ones here, and we'll always expand and add more and more. And what's neat here is that if there's a Facebook expert that you want to follow, you can based on the trainings that they have, you can add any rule sets that you want. So if you want it to be based on a certain person, you can make that. If you want to use the ones that we use, which we think are really, really good, you can use those. And as we basically test more stuff and get good results, we add in those rules as well. And you can use multiple rules at the same time right there. In fact, most of the time you would want to, which is why basically doing the stuff by hand can get really hard. For instance, when I manage either our own Facebook ads or if I do it for a client, I typically use 3 different rule sets at the same time. And I'll share what those are. So one is, it's just called here, Brian Kaz's ad management main rules. And what that is that's basically what I do to monitor, a bunch of ads to make sure that they don't go bad, and how I basically monitor and alert me to changes and stuff. And I'll share the exact steps that you could do. So if I want to clone that and say, hey, I really like this, let's see, what essentially Brian does here, I can click clone right here. And it will bring up this right here. Now, of course, you can create your own ad set name or your own rule set name, and it shows up at the very, very top of the dashboard. You can choose if you want to have it active immediately or not. So in this case, we just say no, just play it safe. And also, I don't want to play around with an ad set here. And as I show off, change stuff around. And then you essentially pick if you want this to be at the campaign level, the ad set level, or the ad. A lot of you will have it just based on the ad set right here. And then you can have it linked up to any Facebook ad account you want. You can use multiple accounts. So you see right here, I have a bunch of them. So you can pick that. You can also choose like how often you want it to check the rules. So most times you'd have it be like, you want to check every day, at least once a day, right here. Or if you say, hey, I want to check every hour or every 6 hours, you can do that super, super easy. And then you'll see the main rules right here. And I'll show how you can modify this or do whatever you want. So here is the rule set that I use, and I'll explain this kind of step by step right here. So, and what you can do right here is if you can basically type in whatever you think you want your target price to be. In this case, I say for like the price of a purchase, but you can have it be for leads or anything that you want. So in this case, let's say, hey, I really want to keep this to, let's say, $15 or less, or 16 or 17 or whatever you want. You basically type that in right here. And then this is basically a bunch of actions and conditions and stuff. And I'll explain what that is when I make one by scratch here, but here's just an existing one that I'll share. So with this, we basically say, if the cost per purchase today is less than 100% of the target, so like let's say my target's $15. If it's less than $15, I would basically save that, and that would be that. So it's saying, hey, if any ad set is less than $15 a sale, look at the next step. So if the answer is yes, it does nothing. If the answer is no, like let's say it's more than $15 a sale, it then looks at this, which is if the cost per purchase over the last 7 days is greater than 100% of the target, then it says, hey, what do you do then? If the answer is no, it does nothing, because it's basically saying, hey, if let's say your target sale price is $15 and one day you have one at 16, if it's been really great for the past week, you don't want to shut that off. So you do nothing if it's still been really good the past week. But if it is indeed less in the past week, you then say, hey, let's look over the past 30 days and see what that is. And that says, hey, if the cost per purchase over the last month is less than 90% of the target. So if it's less than 90% of the target, what do we do then? If yes, we say alert me, because that basically means that, hey, it might be having a bad week, but the past month might be really good because it's less than 90% of your target for the past month. On that month, that's quite good. But if the past day and past week aren't all that great, you want to be alerted, because you don't necessarily want to shut that down. You might want to look at it and see what's up. Like maybe there's like a comment in it that you didn't moderate, and there's like a like maybe there's like a competitor that's saying crap about you, where that's something that you want to be alerted to, so you can fix that. But if it's not less than 90% over the last month, that basically says, hey, for the past day, the past week, and the past month, it hasn't been all that good. You want to pause that. So it will automatically pause that for you. And using this right here, this is how I actually monitor almost all of the ads that I have, where I basically say, hey, if the cost per sale is less than my target for that day, I don't care about anything else. I don't care if the last week was really bad. If it's basically doing good today, keep it, because that's awesome, right? But if it's not, if it's, hey, this one's doing bad, and in the past week, it's also not been all that great, and in the past month, it's also not all that great, I definitely want to pause that. So like, even if there's like a newer ad set, it would say, hey, based upon all the data, it'd say, hey, this is a bad one that we should pause immediately. But if it's a really good one that you've been running for like a year, and based upon the past data, it's saying, hey, it's having a bad day, maybe a bad week, but as a whole, it's been pretty good. You don't want to pause that immediately. Instead, you want it to basically alert you. So that's the formula that I use for part one of my 3 steps. So again, I look at the current day, then I compare. If it's not doing as hot as I want, I look at the past week. And if it's still not doing as hot as I want, I look at the past month. And if it's doing quite good for the past month, I just have it alert me to make a decision if I see if there's maybe like a bad, if there's a bad, like, let's say like a comment or something like that, or if I want to like essentially pause it myself, I can. But if it's bad in all those, I want to immediately pause it. And this also means if it's a brand new ad set that's only like a few days old, it would also actually pause it right there, because the average over the past month would still be bad. So it eliminates the newer bad ones, but keeps the really good ones over time that might just be having a bad few days or a bad week or so. So that's the first rule that I use right there, which again, that's how I've managed 7-figure businesses right there. Another one that I use, let me just go back to the dashboard right here. And now keep in mind, when you make one, when you do a clone, you would just go up here and you'd want to activate it. So right here, I have it as inactive. You just activate it, and then it'd be active among your ad account or your ad set or campaign or whatever you specified it on. So you can make this rule for an ad set, for a particular ad, or an entire campaign if you want. Another ad set that I'd have this on at the same time. I'd have Brian Kaz's growth rule set right here, and I'll show off that one. So I'll clone that. Probably shouldn't make a clone of this each time, but that's the process that you would use. And on this one, this is basically what you'd use to grow. So because it's important to grow, because if the only thing you do is like pause stuff over time and alert you to pause stuff over time, your ad budget gets less and less and less, and you don't really grow. So really, if stuff is winning, you want to grow that over time, right? So it's important to also have this rule set right here. And I'll explain this. And what this one does, it basically looks at your cost per sale over the last day. And it says, hey, if it's less than 90% of the target, that's a pretty good one. So it's not just less than the target, it's less than 90% of it. So that means it's an especially good one. And then we'd say, hey, if that's the case, we want to look at that. And then you say, hey, in this case, I want to look at the past week. And we say, hey, if over the past week it's less than 100% of the target, I want to look at it even more. Then if yes, we do this. We say, if it's really good for today and for the past week, it's just less than what your goal is, you'll want to duplicate that ad or that ad set or that campaign with whatever budget you want. So in this case, I'll say, hey, I want to duplicate that at $100 a day. Or if you leave it blank, it will duplicate it to the exact budget that you had originally in that ad set or that campaign right there. So in this case, I said, hey, I want to test a new one out at $100 a day right here. And again, you can have it be anything you want. That's just the number that I often use right there. So this basically says, hey, if you're having a really good day, you want to look at those ads, and you don't want to immediately duplicate those unless they've also been good for the past week. And then in that case, you want to duplicate that. Now, people ask, well, why not just increase the budget? Reason why is, you definitely can sometimes increase, the budget and stuff, but I find in a lot of cases, if you have stuff that's been running a really long time, and if it's actually doing well, you don't necessarily want to just increase the budget by a lot, because sometimes Facebook tends to optimize based upon the budgets that you specify. So if you basically double or triple your ad spend, it can throw off the optimization a lot. So to grow, I oftentimes just duplicate the better ad sets. And this is a way where I can basically do this on autopilot right here. So ones that have been proven to do well, I can slowly basically duplicate and increase. And if the duplicates do bad, guess what? The first rule I showed you immediately prior will shut those guys off. So you don't have to worry about that, all that much right there. So that's the second rule set that I would activate. I'll show off one more right here. The third one, which is what I call my red alert. That's just down right here. And you just click clone right there, but I'll just go to the one I have up here. This is my red alert one. And as the name implies, it basically alerts you to potential Facebook disruptions or web page issues that you might have. And my rule is fairly easy. I basically say, hey, if the cost is greater than I'll just show you. If it's basically 2 times what my target cost is, so if it's basically greater than 200% of my target, I then say alert me. And you can have it do like anything you want right here. In this case, I just like, you can make it as advanced or as not advanced as you want. I just have it alert me, and I have it write a simple email that alerts me and says, hey, your Facebook campaign has a cost per sale of over 200%. In this case, I accidentally said 250 right there. Check the page in Facebook for potential issues. So what that essentially does right there is, if there's like something that's drastically off, you want to be alerted to it. So let's say your cost per sale goes from like $15 to $30. That might be a sign that something's up. It might not, could just be by chance, but if it like drastically increases, like not just from like $15 to $18, but from like 15 to 30, and you're spending a decent amount of money, so it's not like you have like a super small budget or anything, you want to be alerted to that as quick as possible, because it might be that maybe Facebook has an issue, or maybe your sales page has an issue, like maybe your sales page won't load. So it could be that like your web hosting's down, so you want to be alerted to that as quickly as possible. And a prime example of this was 2 times in the past 30 days, Facebook has actually gone down. Now it wasn't, I mean, last time it wasn't down for that long, but the time prior was the first time in a long time that in North America, and I think one other place, Facebook and Instagram and a few other places, a lot of the people couldn't log on. And Facebook still ran Facebook ads, but they were just running it to like a fraction of the people. So everyone was competing over the exact same people. So the cost went up and up and up. And if you weren't alerted of that, you would have spent a lot of money that you probably didn't want to. But so this is one that this doesn't happen too often, but it's nice to have. That's why I call it the red alert. It's like, hey, if you receive this email, something is going on, and you should check that out. You can also choose to pause it if you want. I prefer in this case just get an alert, because it kind of like alerts me to, hey, if there really is like an issue on my end, if I can fix it really, really quick, I don't necessarily want to pause it. Like if I accidentally like messed up the sales page, or the hosting account went down, or something like that, if it's something I can easily fix, I don't really necessarily have to pause everything. Yeah, so you can do that right there. And when you enable all 3 of these combined, by just, again, once you clone those right here, you just click activate. Those 3 rule sets can work together and essentially run your Facebook ad management on complete autopilot the exact same way that I run our 7-figure businesses. So pretty cool stuff right there. There's also other rule sets and stuff that you can do as well. Like here you see, there's one where like, we saw, like I'll show this one right here. Like we saw how on, I think, one of the campaigns or so, we saw from like 9 at night till 6 in the morning, we got basically cheaper cost per sales. So what we could do is we could create a time-based ad set or time-based campaigns where we'd use this right here. So this is one that we'd use at the start, and this is one that we'd use at the best or at the end of the best time. So right here, you can see the actual thing right here where basically we say, hey, every day starting at, or in this case, we could say really anytime we want, we'd say, hey, every day starting at like X time, and you can pick any time you want it to on pause your ads, or you want to pause your ads. Whereas the other rule, yeah, so this would be on pause. So like every day at this time, we'd on pause our ad set. So if we said, hey, at 9 o'clock, that'd be at 9 at night, in the one example, we'd say, hey, at 9, we want to on pause, and that's just like a simple little thing right there. We want to on pause our ad sets at 9 every night right there. Now with that, we can go back here, and if we want to end that time right there, we'd say, hey, every day at 6 in the morning, we'd want to pause again. So we can specify whatever ad sets or whatever ads we want and say, hey, every time, X time and X time, we want to pause and restart. Now, Facebook normally does not allow you to pause and on-pause unless if you do like, essentially a daily budget, but this allows you to do that right there. And if you see a campaign or like an ad set where there's like a drastic difference, in some cases there might not be a ton, but in some, I've seen ones where like at certain times a day, it might be like $5 a sale, and at other times a day, it might be 4 times that much. So this is like a cool way to do that if you want as well. And there's also a few other advanced things that you can do as well. Like we have some advanced rules and stuff right here. There's some like super advanced things where if you're spending like a lot of money, you can like increase your budgets a lot during the day and then reset them. That's some more like advanced stuff that, we have some training and stuff on that for those that are interested, but we have those there as well for the more experienced ones that have like larger budgets and want to really basically dominate and stuff fast. So we have some advanced things right there, and we're always adding new ones and stuff as well, because this is all based on stuff that we use ourselves. And I'll show you too, like if you want to create a new ad set, it's pretty easy. I'll say new test, or like a new rule set. I mean, not a new ad set. And we can say create new rule set. We can write our own description if we want right there. And basically we can link it to any campaign or ad account or whatever we want. So if you want to link to an ad set or a campaign or an ad, we can pick any ad account that we want to link that to. And then usually, I would just say, if you check once a day, that's fine. So if you check every day at midnight, that's usually fine right there. And then you can create anything you want from scratch right here. Now, if you're brand new, I recommend you just use one of our existing ones. If you're more experienced, you can still easily modify one of our existing ones. But if you want to do one from scratch, you can. You just right-click right here, and you can create either a condition or an action. And you usually would start with a condition. Then you'd right-click that, and you'd say, hey, if the cost per sale or the cost per lead or whatever you want, like there's a whole bunch of different things that you can look at right here. I mean, views, all that right there. Click through rate, whatever you want. Return on ad spend. So I'll just say, if let's say the cost per lead for today is less than or equal to, I don't know, let's say whatever you want. Let's say like $1 or so, or $2 or whatever you want. You can also choose to say like a percentage of a target, which you could, if you write like a target in here of like, let's say $2, you could say, 100% of the target, or whatever you want right there. And then that would be it right there. You just yeah, so that would be that. And of course, you could write like a name on that, like if less than $1 per lead. And then you click add new condition. And you see this, it's basically added right there. You save it. And you have it right there. So it says, hey, if it's less than $1 per lead, what do you want to do? You want to create some kind of an action. So maybe in this case, or let's say, let's change this up a bit. So we'll make this even easier. We'll say if greater than $1 per lead, or greater than $2 per lead, I mean. So we'll say if it's greater than $2 per lead, we then want to take some form of an action. So in this case, we'll say a simple one will be, let's say we basically pause, or let's say, if you want to duplicate ad sets, or if you want to have an email, or change the bids, or adjust the bids, or on pause, or whatever you want right there. In this case, we'll just say we want to pause. And then we link it up. We basically double click this and we double click that. And then it says, hey, if it is indeed more than this, then we'd want to pause it right there. And you can have this be like as elaborate as you want. So if you want to have like a ton of conditions, you can do that. So yeah, this is just like a super, super basic one, but you can make this as complicated or as simple as you want. And what's cool about the automated ad steer is that you can actually make this as complex as you want. In fact, there's no other rule set maker out there that lets you be as like specific as you want right here. Like literally anything you want to look at. Like if you're an advanced user, you can do almost anything you want. But again, if you're brand new, you can just use an existing rule set that we have. Then right here, you just click save. And if you click save, you'd see it show up on the dashboard under C right here where it says new test. And it also keeps a log of everything that you would do as well. So if it makes, like, let's say you say clone this or pause this, it creates a log of all that so you can clearly see all that. We also have up here, we have a graph report as well. And that's just this right here where you can look at stuff like in this case, I say, hey, look at a bunch of ad sets I have in a certain campaign right here in the past month and a half. And we see what the cost per sale has done over time right here. Like if we have our mouse right here, we say, hey, here's some cost per sales at less than $6. There's a bunch that fluctuate up and down a lot, but they all seem to be like roughly around the middle of, like, $13 to $16 or yeah, about the like, $13 to $16 or so right there. But of course, there's some days where it's really high, some days where it's low. And this kind of lets you see like at like a glance, you can basically say, hey, what is this ad set right here that like basically jumped up a ton? And it gives you the ad set name right there. So it gives you like a name of it. So you can, if you want to pause those by hand, you can, or the rule sets can automatically obviously pause that stuff as well. So this kind of just is like a cool way to see a chart over time about how that all looks right there. So that's kind of another neat little thing right there, is that you can kind of visually see how the stuff is going and if it's like improving or getting better, staying about the same, or how individual ad sets do as a whole. You can also look at campaigns as a whole as well. So that's all, that's all up to you right there. Like if I just did campaigns instead, this is just the campaign as a whole right there. You can kind of see what it looks like over time. Now you can have this go back. I just did like a month and a half. You can have this go back for a super long time and see what the trends are like over time as well. So, and that's on top of the full analysis report, which you saw, which like breaks down all those ad sets on top of this right here, and on top of, again, creating the actual rule sets quickly and easily for you, which I think is like a game changer to not only put your ads on complete autopilot through that, but also how to quickly and easily analyze all your data, how to also visually see the performance over time and stuff too. And of course, this is also backed by a full support, and we also have a walkthrough on that as well. And you'll hear about some special trainings that we have as well. So I'm just going to pause the screen for a second, unless there's anything you want to throw in, Sean, but before I switch back to the slides here in a second. So just going to pause it here.
To answer a couple questions that everybody
Sure.
had. Some people were like, how long is it going to take me to learn this? It looks like there's a lot of stuff. How often do I have to check on stuff? Let me just, the 30,000 foot overview is this, especially if you're not running, you're not like a super media buying, superstar. What you're going to start with is, Brian showed you how we have those rule sets and templates already in there. You're just going to be like, hey, I just want to do this. Pick a rule set that already exists, so it's already formatted, it's already set up, and you just update it to be like, oh, I want to have my cost per purchase be $10. You put in $10. Boom. Okay. And then you just tell it what campaign or ad set or ads you want it to work on, and you click active, or you click update to save it, and you now have a rule set that's running. You don't have to keep checking it because it's going to run. And you can even set it up. We'll show you in all the training how to actually email you every time it does run and do something, if you want. And there's actually a log where you can go into your account and see every time the rule ran and what happened. But the whole point of this is to make it really simple for you to do things that you would manually do that become super time consuming about the time you get to 3 or 4 or 5 ads. But you could do this with 100 ads, and the system will always run. It'll always pay attention. It doesn't get drunk. It doesn't forget to show up. It doesn't go on vacation. It's like having your own virtual assistant 24/7 babysitting everything. And for many of you, like one of the common things I hear from people running Facebook ads is, well, what if I forget to pay attention and it spends all my money? Facebook spends all my money, right? Well, they can't, because that's why the reasons why we have things that you can set up to be paying attention, where it's like, hey, Facebook broke, or my website blew up, or something happened, and you either automatically get emailed or pause your ad to just stop it till you get a chance to take a look at it. So nothing can go wild, or it can't be like, oh my God, I forgot I turned on an ad and it spent like $500 in the last 10 days. Well, that won't happen. It won't spend $500 unless it's $500 that are profitable hitting your targets. So this is super easy to get started, and that's the whole point of doing this. Go ahead, Brian.
Cool. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, super easy to start with this, and it's basically like having your own Facebook ad manager that can really do more than like any manager possibly can, because it does like way more, way easier and instantly on complete autopilot. So moving on back to the slides here, you can use automated ads to automatically manage your ads to monitor them for hitting your target numbers. If your costs get too high, automated ads will pause the ads so you never have to worry about missing something that costs you a fortune. You can also use automated ads to automatically scale your ad campaigns. Choose your target cost per lead or cost per sale, or per views or whatever. Set your budget, and automated ads will do the rest. You can also follow any number of existing or new rule sets that you create. The sky is the limit. But again, if you're brand new, or even if you're like experienced, I still recommend that you at least check the ones that we use first. If you want to modify them, sure, that's fine, but that will save you a lot of time there too. But if you want to create stuff from scratch, you certainly can. So it's all there for you. We also have complete A to Z training. You'll get complete step-by-step training on all aspects of using the software to run your Facebook ads. That we have a built-in tutorial that we suggest you watch. Whether you're brand new to Facebook advertising or a seasoned vet, they'll walk you through all the stuff right there so you can get up and running quickly and easily. And now you're probably asking, how fast can I get started with this? Well, you can sign up and get instant access today. You can learn everything you need to know about using automated ads in under 20 minutes. I think the complete walkthrough is about like 17.5 minutes. Walks you through like all the options and everything right there. And of course, we'll add like new info and support and stuff as we see, like if you guys are struggling with like certain stuff and need some clarification, and we'll add more stuff in as well, because again, you guys will be the first in right here. You're going to be easily up and running today. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, wait. I already see a couple of you right now are thinking it. I know what you're thinking now. You're saying, stop it, Brian and Sean. This is going to cost a fortune, and even though it could help me, I either can't afford it or don't want to risk my money. Sure, there's looks like, I can already tell there's a few of you that are saying and thinking that. And we hear you. That's why you can get it today to try it out for free. All right, are you back to being calmed down now? Because that's right, you can actually try this out for free today. And on top of that, and I'll get to the details of that in just a minute, on top of that, we also offer really top-notch support. So whenever you need help, our world-class support team is ready to help you. We'll always get back to you in 1 day or less. Usually we'll get back to you within like an hour or so, provided it's like, in the daytime that you write, and not like 3 in the morning. And we'll make sure that you get basically the answers that you need. So we won't just get back to you. We'll actually answer your questions and such too. and make sure any issues you have are solved, any questions you have are solved and addressed right there. So who should use automated ads? Well, you should use it if you're someone who's now running Facebook ads, who wants to basically not only optimize their ads, but also grow them and to run them on complete autopilot instead of hiring a $9,000 per month ad manager. Or if you're someone who wants to start running ads and not have to waste time figuring out how to analyze and optimize ads, it'd be a good fit as well. Or if you're someone that wants to manage Facebook ads for other businesses and charge top dollar, it'd be a good fit for you as well, because it can do all those jobs on complete autopilot. Or if you're someone that just likes to sign up for stuff because it's free, obviously, this would be for you as well. All jokes aside, we completely remade automated ads from scratch. And you're literally the first group in. And that's why we're actually giving this away as a free trial, because we want to get as many people in as possible and to kind of get the feedback and stuff and see what you like or don't like, or see what kind of features we can add in on top of that, so we can always make sure we handle every issue that you have. Now, here's the story of why we remade it. So originally, we actually released a completely different software tool called Automated Ads. Probably over a year ago, maybe close to 2 years ago or so, and it did some pretty neat stuff. Like it had some of the analysis stuff in there and all sorts of stuff, and we had it so it could basically not only analyze your Facebook ads like it does now, but it would automatically run those ads for you using the data gathered. Now, the problem was a lot of people we found, because they didn't know what the software was doing at the time, they weren't like, they wanted to do their own rules. They want to do like, their own rule sets and their own like different advertising methods. And they really just didn't want it to be like completely hands-free. So we had to completely remake everything to say, hey, let's use some of the old rule sets that we have. Let's have like basically access to the same advanced data. Let's have access to some of the same rules, but let's add the ability where they can add any rules that they want, or they can modify any rules as they see fit, where they can see a log of anything change. So really give you unlimited potential to run the ads any way that you want, and have a lot more features and stuff as well. So this was like, but it had to be completely remade from the ground up. And you guys are the very, very first ones to be in right here, and likely the only ones to get a free trial, and that's why. Now, you are actually getting in for free because you're a valued subscriber of ours, and because, again, we want as many people to use the new automated ads as possible, so that we get as much feedback as possible to improve it for you. So for today only, you can not only get in for a free 14-day trial, but you'll also get access to a huge discount if you decide to stay at 66% off. Normally, our lowest tier would be about $297 per month, but you not only get in for the free trial, but if you decide to stay, you get $200 off, which is over 66%, for only $97 per month, for up to $3,000 per month of ad spend. And we have multiple different tiers, which we have explained on the sales page, which I'll show you in a second right here. But essentially at $97 a month, you get up to $3,000, or you get up to $3,000 a month in ad spend, because we use like a lot of data to basically analyze all that stuff. So the more you spend, the more data there is, the more resources it uses, and it goes up from there. But you see a breakdown of all that right there. And let's say you're someone that spends like $100,000 a month or $1 million a month. We have you covered on that as well. So I'll go through that in just a little bit right here. So again, it's free for 14 days, then only $97 a month after that for tier 1. And again, you can sign up, and if you want to adjust your level, it can automatically do that for you right there. But you have to go to this link that you see right here, automatedads.com/special. Again, that's automatedads.com/special right now to take advantage of that. And this really is, again, an amazing deal, but we're not about to stop right there. We're also going to throw in a handful of bonuses worth more than even what the first several months would be combined right there. And keep in mind, right now it is a free trial, so it costs you absolutely nothing. And just to explain the tiers very, very quickly. So again, at $97 a month, it's up to $3,000 per month in ad spend. If you go over 3,000 a month, we have you covered at $297 per month. You have up to 20,000. And then we have some additional ones that turn into unlimited ad spend after that as well. And you can see a breakdown on the page right there as well, if you have a larger account as well. So that's all there. But again, most people will probably be in one of the two lower tiers right there. Most people will probably be in this one right here, especially to start with. But moving on to the bonuses. Free bonus number 1, you'll get a free upgrade into the Automated Ads Pro account. This is a $1,997 value. That means you can use automated ads to manage multiple Facebook ad accounts with unlimited ad campaigns, ad sets, and ads. These accounts can be yours, or you can use automated ads to manage Facebook ads for anyone else. The typical rates to manage Facebook ads, what you would want to charge others for, like a mom and pop business, it can be up to about $997 per month as your fee. For larger businesses, it can be $9,000 a month or more. In fact, I've seen some that have charged even up to $12,000 per month or more on top of taking a cut of the ad spend and all that too. So it can get really pricey or really profitable as well, depending upon what you want to do right there. So you can use automated ads to manage these on complete autopilot at no additional cost as part of your membership. Now, why would you want to manage other Facebook ad accounts? Well, Facebook has 5 million businesses now running ads on it, and they all want better results and lower ad costs with more leads and more sales. So that's a huge market right there. But on top of that, with over 100 million businesses worldwide and growing, that means about 95 million businesses are not yet advertising on Facebook, but they should be, and likely a lot of them want to. So you have huge markets in both of those right there. Free bonus number 2, you get free future updates. This is about a $997 value. We're in the middle of rolling out some huge updates in the next month or two that will be worth a fortune, but you all get them for free. In addition, if there's features or updates that you'd like to see, let us know, and we'll likely make it happen if at all possible. So again, we want to improve the software, so if there's features you want to see, if there's stuff that you think would make it simpler to use or anything like that, let us know. We'd absolutely love your feedback on that. And we have a programming team in place, so if there's a feature or an update that you have, we can likely get a lot of this done very, very fast. So let us know what we can do to either explain stuff better or to have some, other features or to simplify the UI more. I mean, this is why we have this free trial right here for you guys right now. Free bonus number 3, you get the discounted membership rate is locked in for life. Of course, you can cancel anytime, but because you're in the first group of people that gets early access to the new automated ads, and because you'll help basically grow us as a brand, we'll lock in your low discounted rate for life as a charter member. No matter how many awesome upgrades and features we add, no matter how much we charge other people in the future, you'll be guaranteed to keep your low rates as long as you remain a user of automated ads. But you're, of course, free to leave anytime you want as well. Free bonus number 4, this is a big one. You get you get some private automated ads training, which will be done through a series of webinars, which will also record those if you can't make them. And we'll get one each week for you right here. On secret training number 1, you'll hear about the 4 main ad methods that we use and how to best exploit them. So you'll see the kind of ads that we do, the four different kinds, where and how they best work, and how they can apply to almost any business out there, and which kinds of businesses each one best work with. So very, very cool call. We'll have that call at the start of next week. Secret training number 2, how to set up Facebook ad management deals with businesses to get paid monthly starting at $997 per month. So if you have an interest in selling ad management to others, this will be a call for you that can really make a world of difference to help you make some extra side income as well. And the cool part is almost all this you can do on complete autopilot, and you'll look like a genius to the eyes of these business owners. Secret training number 4, you'll get a behind the scenes look at what ads work best and why, as well as free templates, which is a $497 value alone that you'll receive to modify as you wish for your own ad. So we'll actually send you a whole bunch of templates included in the training. So as we basically talk about the templates and what's neat with them and why they work and what you should do, we'll show you the exact the exact templates and what you can write on your ads and all that and why they work, so you can hit the ground running hard and fast right there. And again, we're contemplating having this as like some kind of like an upsell, but we're like, hey, why not just include this for free as a bonus right now? And last but not least, secret training number 4, you'd get advanced tips and methods to double or more your revenue without spending a penny more on any of your ads, as well as free software, which is a $297 value to help you do it. So we'll show you how even outside of any ads, you can double or more your revenue without spending a penny more. So even off your existing sales or your existing clients, you can make a lot more. And we'll give you software, free software, to help you kind of plan that out and do that as well. And this is a game changer as well, because like whether you're a new business or one that's been around a long time, we'll show you how this can be used to get a lot more sales, and it's just a few easy tweaks. And you'll have some free software to help with that. So that will be on week 4 right there. So that's right, you get free ad templates and software on top of the training. So you heard that right. During 2 of our trainings, we'll be releasing free ad templates and software to help plan and grow your businesses worth many, many times what just 1 month of automated ads would be. And again, this is a free 14-day trial. Use automated ads for the next 14 days. And if you're not happy for any reason at all, simply notify us to instantly get canceled. No worries, you don't pay a penny. This is all completely free for the first 14 days. Plus, you'll also get a deeply discounted rate of 66% off if you decide to stay as a charter member. So again, it's free for 14 days. So that means you can try it out and not get charged anything. And you can basically try it out for 14 days, not get charged a penny, and only get charged if you decide to stay after that point right there. So to get the charter member deal for the new automated ads for the free 14-day trial, then only $97 per month after that, which is again $200 off, you have to go to automatedads.com/special. Again, that's automatedads.com/special. And this free trial is valid right now for today only right here. Because again, this is a special deal for you guys only right here. So you have to make sure to jump on that right now. So you don't want to wait like a week or two, because again, it will be gone then. This is a special deal to jump on right now so you can hit the ground running. And again, we also start the free training series. We'll start next week. If you can't make those, we'll have the recordings up within like a half day of any of those calls as well. So we will email you guys out an invitation to those calls, and we'll post the recordings in the members area as well, including when we have the call that talks about the ad templates, we'll include a link to all those. When we basically talk about the free software and stuff to essentially double your current sales and plan out that, we'll include a link to that there as well. That will all be available in the training area. So right now, you just have to go to automatedads.com/special. And again, it's completely free. We don't charge you a penny now. Just make sure you go to that link right now and sign up today while it's still free. And again, let us know any feedback. We have our contact email at the bottom of that page right there. If there's any questions or any features that you think would be neat to have, or anything that you think we could do better or make easier, let us know. and we'll definitely try to make all that happen fast. So this is why we are actually giving you guys this awesome deal here. And if there's anything that we can do to make it more awesome, let us know, and we'll try to make that happen right there. But you have to go to automatedads.com/special. I see there's a handful of questions. I know Sean and Sharon have been answering a lot of those. Just to basically answer some of the ones I see, there's a couple questions asking if this works on like Mac or Windows. This is web-based software, so it works on basically anything as long as you can get online. That's fine. And yes, you can certainly make almost any rule set you want, but I encourage you, again, if you're new or even if you're experienced, we have a lot of existing ones that we use that I recommend, you maybe start with those. But of course, if you have your own rule sets, or if you follow someone else that has completely different rules and stuff, you can add their rules, and you can make their rules into a rule set that runs on autopilot for you. And yes, we'll include like more and more training on how to all that. And in the near future, in the next week or so, we'll start to roll out additional trainings to basically give you additional tips on how to do all that. So you guys are literally the first guys in right here, which is why we thought it'd be neat to basically give this away for free for a 14-day trial, and also give you a massive discount if you decide to stay after that as well. So this really is an awesome deal that you'll want to jump on right now at automatedads.com/special. And keep in mind, even if you don't run a lot of ads yourself now, or if you don't run any, you can learn how. And on top of that, you'll also see on week 2 of the training, we'll show you how you can manage ads for lots of others as well. So you can actually turn this into a business that you manage for others at the same time. So you don't even have to have your own ads. Now, if you do have your own ads, you probably already know that this is like a game changer and can save you a ton of time and a ton of money and make you a lot more as you manage it on complete autopilot in a smarter, better fashion and more intelligent fashion as well. So with that, Sean, were there any other questions that you saw? I know you've been answering a lot, so I wasn't sure if there's a few, the common ones that have basically popped up.
Yeah, so I got a couple of questions from people in different countries asking if it's going to work fine for them. Somebody in West Africa, somebody in the UK. Yes, this is going to work everywhere for you. If you can get on Facebook, so for example, if you're in China where they don't really like Facebook, and you could get on Facebook, then then this will work for you. That would be the only limitation. Okay, so it's going to work anywhere in the world. And you probably didn't see, but there's actually a way to set your time zone in the software, and you'll want to set that to match what time zone you have your ads set to run, because then when you think of, I want something to check every night at midnight, that when you think of midnight, it's midnight in your ad set. So we let you choose exactly what time zone you want to do that, because a lot of people, for whatever reason, have ads set up to run in different time zones than the one they live in, and so we can't automatically detect that. But that would be the only country-specific things that you want to do that. Another person asking, when is the training going to start? Are we going to make you go through the 14-day trial and see if you stick to get the training? No, the training starts next week. There's already there's already a walkthrough in the software so you could actually go in and start playing and doing stuff now. And we'll talk about this in the first training next Wednesday, but when you start using the software, my suggestion is you do the same thing we did when we were testing, which is, you go create a low budget test account. I mean, where you're spending like $1 or $5, whatever, some small number, and just start playing, because then you can force the rules to run. Like if you want to be like, I want to see what happens when it does this, then you just pick a stupid rule. Like if leads are less than $100, I want this thing to happen. I want the ad to pause, right? So you just make it, that your target is $100, and if your ads are, less than $100, or leads are less than $100, then the rule will run. It would pause, right? And the rule doesn't have to make sense. The computer doesn't go, you're an idiot. Why would you want to pause it if your leads cost low? It's a computer. It doesn't think. You just tell it what you want it to do. So you can make it do stuff because you're going to feel really much, much better after you tested them. You're like, oh, look, I told it to do this and it did it. It's that it does what I tell it to do, which it will. Okay, but just go create a really simple thing and have the software do things and follow the rules and just use the sample rules that we set up in there, for example, to start with, and you can just see it happen. And you can't break anything because if you're like, oh, I messed up my rule and it paused or it didn't pause when I thought it was going to. It's not like you're dealing with a $5,000 ad campaign, right? Okay, so just test with small numbers and do some simple stuff because then you'll feel much better and you'll worry a lot less. But once you see that this does what it's supposed to do, and be like, oh, this is really awesome, and I can just turn it on and it does stuff for me, and it will do stuff for you. That's the whole point of this. It's like having a room full of people who do nothing but sit there and look at your ads as often as you want them to look at your ads to make sure that everything's okay. And we're gonna go through a lot of stuff as we go through the training and get a lot of feedback from you guys because you really are the first people to see the new software. Even the people who were existing members, as Brian mentioned, that automated ads existed in a prior version before we just did all these updates. We just turned this live this morning. There are some existing members on this webinar who are like, oh, can we get the updates? Well, they got them this morning. I mean, it's really that brand new to the universe. We're going to get a lot of feedback, and we'll be doing a lot of things in advertising and updating what we're doing. We're getting there. So Derek asked, would I have an ad set for the UK and one for the US? Yes, I would. I would do the same thing. I would, anytime that I'm, targeting countries or targeting anything big, is a group like that. I would, run the same campaign to the US, run the same campaign to the UK, or Australia or France or Germany or whatever. If I'm targeting big countries, I'm always going to run them in separate campaigns, primarily because if one might work better than the other for whatever reason. Okay, and one of the things we'll talk about in the training is things will happen when you run ads that you're like, this makes no sense at all. Like, wow, I really thought that people in this country would buy better than people in that country. Okay, and just because we think it doesn't mean that it's actually true. But if you're like, oh, I'm willing to pay, $20 a buyer, and the people in the UK are buying at $11, and the people in the US are buying at $20, right? Both are good. But when you can see like, oh, the UK people are buying for $11 a piece, where would you obviously want to focus more of your budget? On the $11 people, right? But if you can't see them, you can't do that. So we always want to target into things like that where we can be able to see results and get that kind of information and all that stuff. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Yes, Don, we'll record trainings for everything. And whether you can make it or not, the training will be there and you'll be able to follow up and use that training and watch it more than once, pause it, do whatever you need to do. Again, we built software that can do anything when it comes to creating rules. I mean, you can make as many if-then conditional statements and action things and all kinds of cool stuff in that the flowchart system you saw there with the nodes, but you don't have to. But we built something that even the most advanced user can be like, oh, I like to analyze things every day, then 7 days, then 30 days, and make sure this is happening, and I want to reduce the ad spend on an ad that's starting to fade. Like, you can build all that into the system. But when you're brand new, you look at this and go, oh my gosh, look at all this, like I could do everything. Well, then you can't get anything done. But we'll show you how, using the templates that we've built, and as we find out what you guys are trying to do, we can easily add more templates that you can just literally click the clone button and it's in your account, and then you can just adjust the targets for what you're going to do, and then the rule will run. And again, when the rules run, there's actually a log that says the rule ran and, we did stuff. So you can always go back if you're like, I don't know what happened. Well, you can just go read the log and be like, oh, the rule ran and, I didn't realize that I set this setting or whatever. Okay. But it'll all be fine. It is really super easy to use. The magic is in the software, not in you becoming an uber genius at math, at Facebook ads, at anything else. And we'll have a lot of training for how to build ads, how to set up ads, how to, get easy ways to grab graphics. Your ads do not have to be super complex, and they don't have to be like award-winning videos and everything else. And we run video ads and we run just image ads with text. Both work. And when we start testing, Brian would know better than me because he runs a lot more of the direct ads, but I bet we're running way more non-video ads than we are video ads. Like all the experts are like, oh, you have to run video ads, and they're running ads with text and images on them, not video ads, oddly enough. And one of the reasons is it's so much easier to create ads with images and text. And if you're like, I'm too afraid to make an image, with text on it, don't worry about that. You can go to Fiverr.com, and for $5 you can get, images made. It's super simple.
Yeah, and we'll show you too on one of the training weeks. We'll actually give you a handful of templates, and I'll show you how you can use like free, essentially graphic editors. I'll show you one specifically that I use online, which is like super easy, that you can make almost anything you want. I mean, it's super easy to modify the templates that we give you, but I'll show you how you can do that, how you can also make stuff from scratch fairly easily yourself. But as Sean said, you can also just outsource for $5 as well too. But that's super easy, and I'll show you how you can whip out that stuff in like a matter of minutes in one of the trainings as well. So don't even worry about that.
Sorry, I'm reading questions as we go here, trying to speed through and make sure we're getting everything answered.
And yes, so there's a few of you that have asked if this can work on multiple accounts. Yep, that's all fine. You also saw that, well, you may not have seen, but if you're paying attention, you saw that on a couple of the examples that I gave, it has a drop down to pick the ad account, where there literally was like, gosh, I think I had like maybe like 100+ ones there. So yes, it works on multiple ad accounts. That's all fine. So that's all good there. And then we'll show you how to, when we do the call on the second week, about how to like run this as a service for other people. We'll show you how to like link your account to someone else's account to basically analyze their stuff and all that very, very easily. So we'll kind of walk you through all that as well. So that will all be pretty easy. So don't worry about that either. All right. I think, okay. And yes, there's a person said that asked if they could use Canva to create free graphics. That's one of the graphic editors out there that can do some free stuff. Yeah, that will work just fine. And I'll talk more about that when we give you guys the ad templates in one of the training weeks. I'll actually go through how to quickly do that stuff when I give you the actual templates and stuff too for those. So I think we answered all or most of the questions so far, but there's a few that are keep popping in here. But yeah, just make sure you go to that link you see right now. Again, it's completely free for 14 days, so you don't get charged a penny. It's just automatedads.com/special, but you have to take advantage of that right now. And this is not the kind of thing that you can wait like a week on or anything like that, because this is a very special deal for you guys only right now for a free trial for 14 days. So you want to jump on that right now. That's why you also see like we don't really have much of a sales page or anything made yet either. This is just, we want to get you guys in to basically give us the feedback and what you like or don't like, other features that you'd want, and then within like a couple weeks or a month or so, we'll have essentially the pretty sales page graphics and the higher prices and all that stuff as well right there. But you guys get in right now as a special deal just for basically giving us the feedback and whatnot. And we'll also do some special announcements in the near future as well, where again, you guys are already, in the next few weeks, we'll be actually giving you some extra free software, free templates and all that right there. And you can watch out for some surprise bonuses as well on top of that. So you guys will obviously be treated very, very, very well. Have a super awesome discount if you decide to stay. And again, completely free for 14 days right now if you sign up right here. So, all right.
Hey, one thing real quick, Brian, because I just saw a couple of people ask this question. Will there be basic training on how to, set up an ad, and how to put an ad together and do all this stuff? Absolutely, yes. Because we know we have people that are beginners, and they're either set up ads maybe, and they're not even sure if they did it right, or never set up an ad. We will have training on how to do all that stuff. So no worries. We assume that you have no idea what you're doing. And I just saw someone write, "That's good because that's me." So you're covered. And we'll see everybody on the training next week, because I'm assuming since it's free that everybody signed up.
All righty. So with that, guys, is the last chance right here to go to that link, automateads.com/special. If you have any other questions, if you go to that link, you'll see an email address and a support desk at the bottom of that page. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You should receive a login and stuff probably within like a minute or two. If you don't after like a few, make sure to check your spam first. If it's not there, just shoot us a quick email, and we'll make sure to get that over to you right away. And stay tuned, because within the next day we'll send out the details for the first call in the first half of next week, and we'll go from there. So unless there's anything else, Sean, we can close down this call. And I want to thank all of you that have signed up for this free offer right here. It's obviously greatly appreciated. And again, let us know any feedback or anything at all what we can do. And yeah, we'll get back to you guys soon with all the training. We'll see you next week on the next call. We'll go through some exciting stuff then, and I think you guys will really, really enjoy it. And I think you'll enjoy the training and stuff, even more on top of that, because we have some really good stuff planned there on top of all the bonuses and stuff that you'll get throughout that time as well. So any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Otherwise, I want to thank you all for being on this call. Again, we greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you got some value. Hopefully you learned some stuff. Again, I showed you the exact rule sets that I use myself on our own businesses and those that we consult for and manage for. And this is a way where you can basically put that on complete autopilot. So with that, guys, hope you have a great rest of the week. And any questions, just make sure you go to that link that you see right there right now. And at the very bottom, you'll see our support email, and reach out to us with any questions or any issues at all, and we'll be happy to address those. So with that, have a great rest of the day and rest of the week, guys, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.